Well, we've got a perfect guy over here to chill with tonight. Perfect guy to chill with tonight as we bring back for the first time in a little while. Everybody's all, of course, on their own little journeys and adventures in life, and this man is an adventurer. Our good buddy Fleccas is back. Oh my, I didn't think we'd ever see the day again. How are you, my friend?
How was it been a few weeks, Frank?
I don't know.
Yeah, sorry about that 2-year hiatus. Right, I just kind of disappeared for a little bit.
Well, dude,
I almost lost my shit, but I'm back.
I mean, dude, you've been doing a lot of work. I mean, you completely rebranded. Well, not completely rebranded, but you've gone in what I think is a much more sustainable and fun and stress-free direction with the podcast and everything like that. I mean, you were the big imposing figure man on the street, but you haven't done a lot of that recently. How do you feel about it all?
Yeah, I mean, man on the street, I love doing it. It was super popular. We got some great content, obviously, over the years. I think I did like 100 and something of them. And I was inspired to go into the streets originally by Owen Schroyer. He was like the first man on the street guy that I saw that really got me excited. But then afterwards, we kind of got all the content. I think we saw everything that could happen. Everyone's saying the crazy things. Trump's worse than Hitler. Nobody voted. Everyone was willing to get violent. No one had any backup information on the claims they made. And then what actually happened, which made me more assured in my decision to start doing the podcast, was there's a lot of man on the street people came up behind me afterwards.
Yes.
So there's like a whole nother generation now that kind of came out afterwards. Those were the guys that covered all the Portland riots. And then now it's like the man on the street lane is completely, I don't want to say saturated, but there's a ton of man on the street people getting all the man on the street content. So I'm happy about that. I kind of went a different direction with the podcast. I've just been grinding that out for 2 years now. We're at 132 episodes. So that's been a grind in itself, but I'm really happy with the direction it's gone. I think it's been fun and funny and entertaining for people. So it's a little different from the original Man on the Street stuff, but we're still hopefully having a good impact.
Well, like I said, you were you were that imposing figure that neutralized your own stature with a curious wooden spoon in hand, and now it's just when you started doing This Week in Culture is when I said, okay, I can see where he's going with this, and this is a lot better. You can be a little bit more you can put your roots down, lay your roots down a little bit. You don't have to be moving all over the country whenever you see another women's marches popping up. And like you said before, I mean, how many more variations of the same answer are you going to get out of people? Or how many times are you going to just realize that people mostly don't have answers? They're being triggered into the streets for one reason or another. So it was great, because what you started doing with the This Week in Culture is, I think everybody was seeing a lot of these clips, these horrifying, just mystifying clips of how people are really just fried at this point. Mm-hmm. And we're all able to watch it together and just kind of have our mouths dangling open in unbelief. It's been good. It's been a lot more therapeutic what you're doing now.
Yeah, and then those clips too, they always get scrubbed from the internet eventually, and they're kind of hard to find, and they go viral quick in like the right-wing space, but then they kind of disappear. So I kind of have like a time capsule of every single thing that happened from like 2020 to present day. So one day in the future, whoever wins and ends up writing history, hopefully the clips we have saved on all these hard drives forever in order will hopefully play a key role in something and trying to tell the truth of what actually happened.
So, I think that, I don't know the last time you were actually on, speaking of 2020, but it might have been 2020, because
I think it was right before 2020, the election, probably.
I mean, hey, so, what...
And really quick, just so you know,
yeah.
I haven't done a news hit or anything since then, basically. Like, you were probably one of the last couple news hits I ever did. And I haven't done another one pretty much since. I think I did a couple in 2021 for COVID or something, but I haven't done one in 2 years.
Oh, so it wasn't personal.
Oh, of course not. No. People message me. They're like, "Oh, are you mad at Frank?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just like schizophrenically spiraling, trying to figure my future out and trying to build something."
Dude, that's where we all are. I mean, I'm trying a lot of things. I know what I love doing, but the real thing is, hey, it's not like it's very hard. It's very challenging to try to reach people. You know that there are a majority, not all 8 billion people on the planet, but you know a good majority are connected to the internet, or they have access to something that is connected to the internet. But the real mystifying thing is, how are you able to introduce yourself to them, and how are you able to stay in touch with them without having to give all of your hard work over to third-party platforms that in one way or another, when one day you're so high on them, the other day they either go obsolete or they become politically infected in some way. It's a challenge to do this and build a media brand, especially on your own when you don't have a lot of funding.
Yeah, it definitely is a challenge, and there's no one really in our corner helping us, looking out for us. If we were on the left, in the left-wing space, doing a progressive show that exposed right-wingers for whatever, like, that would be catchy. They would promote that. That would be really viral. But yeah, with the space we're in, it's a very much an uphill grind. No one's going to help you. And then if you aren't consistent with the content, you're done. So that's kind of what you said before for the man in the street. For me, like, I knew that I couldn't rely on just being at a protest or being somewhere at an event or something happening forever. I kind of needed to find another voice with the audience I built from the man in the street videos that was enough, in line with the goal and the message. But yeah, it's tough out here. Congrats on 100K subscribers on YouTube. I just noticed that number.
Thank you. I wish that anytime I posted something on there, more than 5,000 people were told about it, though. That would be nice. It's like it's like empty calories, 100,000 empty calories, because you don't you don't really reach them all. But thank you so much, man. I will say that with 100K, it's more of a testament of the times actually spent on the platform than how viral the stuff is, because I don't know how long it took us, but still, let me ask you this: this is a little odd question, but were you in LaGuardia Airport around November 2nd by any chance?
No.
Okay, a friend of ours thought that they had seen you. You might have a doppelganger.
We have a lot of doppelgangers. That's probably what it was.
Yeah, you do. Actually, I have one over here for you too. This was sent in to me from somebody in the audience. His name is Jim. He goes by Pickled Gamer on the internet. He's a live streamer in gaming and all that, and he likes the show, and he also loves your work. Well, during lockdown, here's what he said to me: Frank, here are pictures I told you about me and Halloween. I was Fleccas for Halloween during shutdown, and I went to some bars with my wife, and only one person knew who I was and was very, very excited. And I have him. Hold on a second. I have him up on. Let me get him on screen. And
that's how it goes, though. It's like no one knows who the person is, and then one person is very excited because they know exactly who I am. That's funny.
Well, you know what it is.
That's a good one.
He's got the spoon wrapped around the camera, and he's also, and of course the yellow vest. Yeah. So there you go, and that is
made it seem like I used to work at the events. I wear a vest, and they go, "Oh, this guy must be somehow officially involved in this." No, those are good days,
dude. But that's the other thing here too. I'm sure, and my buddy Matt is here again. You guys all remember each other, right?
I know Matt. Yeah.
What's up, man?
What's up, Matt?
Well, listen. I think that we all know that we're going down the shitter quick as far as mental coherence. I think that we're really, really frayed. And if you think about what's going on with people inside their heads, what's going on playing out inside in society at large, I think another really great thing about your transition into other ways of delivering what you want to do in this new media space, best time in the world to get out before people really just have no other way of expressing themselves except through violence, because it's not. I wouldn't want to be in these streets, man. I mean, out of every 10 protests, I don't know how many would be the safest. You'd have to really start making big considerations about that. Your size already bailed you out most of the way. Nobody probably wanted to screw with you, but it's starting to get really unpredictable.
Yeah, it really is. And that's kind of like the difference in energy. Like when I first started in 2017, there weren't a ton of man on the streets people. And my energy and way I was interacting with everyone was very polite. What are you here for? What does your sign say? And then people would come over and say, oh, he's a Trump supporter, he's a right winger. And I would go to the person I was interviewing and I would say, did I ask you any trick questions? All I'm saying is, what are you doing here? Like, what's the protest about? But now the energy, if I was back out there, would be a lot different, because originally it was, well, I just want to hear both sides and I want people who watch my channel to see each side and decide which side they want to be on. Now the lines are kind of drawn at this point.
Oh yeah.
And especially with Joe Biden after a few years, it's like if you're watching this and you're still a hardcore progressive leftist person, your brain's kind of cooked and we can't save you. So it's like, it's less of like me trying to convince people to come on our side and more of like, hey, the lines are drawn. Which side are you on, left or right? And that's kind of like the energy shift I've noticed over the years. Because anyone who's rational or reasonable, they've at this point been pushed out of the far left progressive mob. So anyone who's left is just like aggressive and kind of an idiot.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, and I'm starting to think more and more. Obviously, just to talk about the left and right in the context as we have here in United States politics is kind of ridiculous, because even Republicans are far left when you really have something to contrast it against, like the Constitution or any founding document that we have. But here's the other thing. There is something going on now where I think people like you have shown, just by putting the microphone in people's faces and asking basic questions, that there is a bottle rocket without a stick kind of randomness to everything, and that nobody really has any coherent thoughts, and they really grind against each other, they contradict, and it creates a lot of frustration where they almost spurg out at the end. They just have to go. Some of them will just kind of hang their head and say, sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's creating a lot of friction here, and I think that it's so far beyond saying, oh, it's in this direction left or that direction right. It's kaleidoscopic. I feel like we're inside of a kaleidoscope, and we're getting all this fractal art just splitting in front of our faces. It reforms into different shapes, and nothing really compiles these thoughts of mine better than the video that we just got coming out of the White House a day ago. The Christmas video. Matt, did you see the Christmas video?
Disgusting.
Hold on, I'm going to play this. I know Fleccas has seen it, so it doesn't matter.
Most of the shit in it had nothing to do with Christmas.
Oh, I know. It's not. And remember, when you're watching this, how they freaked out a few years ago when the Trump White House gave a glimpse of the nativity. There was a nativity scene. All right, now take a look at this. I can't.
People are scary as fuck,
dude. It goes on for 2 more minutes of them tap dancing. 2 more minutes.
LGBT's literally coming out of the woodwork, just behind every door, behind every wall. There's another gay person in some sort of outfit.
That's exactly what it is. It's just one gay person after another. There's not. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's I look at this and I think it's Alice in Wonderland meets The Shining, and because it's just the colors of everything. It really feels like Alice in Wonderland meets The Shining, especially with the weird animal masks. It's like I feel like there should be like 2 half butchered twins at the far end of a hallway over here. But man, what do you think? What do you think about this? Because I saw one thing came in about you, Fleccas, that I really want to throw into your corner, and then you can just give me some thoughts. This came from a comment that came from Reality Biter in the comment section. Said Fleccas, and I think this really comes and speaks to what we're talking about with this commercial and everything. Fleccas, sometime over the past few years, You were visiting a rally, and it was a bunch of blue-haired freaks that were soiling themselves in hatred. As I recall, you interviewed one woman, sorry if I misgendered her, and said, look at all this beautiful human energy here. Think of what we could do if we focused it. We could travel to other planets, man. In rockets? Yeah. Maybe, but rockets made by these people? Well, no, but somebody. And that is that's pretty much it. The Glee Club should stay in the drama department and be in charge of the silly plays no one ever watches. They cannot produce, they cannot govern. Honestly, they cannot even vote responsibly. I love that clip. If you can ever find it, please play it again. It was priceless. Do you know what he's talking about?
I know exactly what he's talking about. I was wearing a flannel shirt. I think I was interviewing Anomaly, who was explaining kind of right after that. But yeah, some young women made death threats against the President Trump at the time. And then, yeah, it was basically like sum up what you're saying. It's like, and especially in the White House now, anything that's normal is like the problem. Like the old way was normal. And then it's like, oh, we have problems now, so we need to go away from the old ways. So anything that's not normal is like new, and then new is not old, and old is white. So it's like there's kind of layers to it, but they're really making an effort to just be as non-normal as possible to give a voice to like the new people who haven't had a voice. But normal actually is great for 90% of society, 80%, 85% of society fits into normal pretty good. And then now we're just kind of worried about the outliers. But yeah, that clip was from a downtown LA protest with Anomaly. It was a good one. It was a good one for sure.
I probably have seen it, and there's a lot of things that stick out over the years, things that people say in certain situations, and so much of it is organic, and that's one of those things where you say, oh, yeah, there's a lot of great human potential right here. That's what I felt when we started to go down to check out any of those Occupy Wall Street demonstrations when they popped up in like 2011. I started thinking to myself, wow, we're in Zuccotti Park in New York, and there's a bunch of people camping out, and I'm going down there thinking, okay, well, we're gonna be some man on the street stuff. It's the only time I ever did man on the street, and we went down to just interview people because I'm thinking they're occupying Wall Street. It's a nice youthful movement. And I'm looking for End the Fed people. I'm looking for Ron Paul people. I found one End the Fed person. Out of all the hundreds of people down there, it was a bunch of Marxists asking for student loan forgiveness, asking for all different types of new layers of taxation that can be then redistributed. The wealth can be redistributed from investment banks and investors and just upper class individuals, citizens of the country, so that they can have things that they believe is due to them. I said, oh no, so much for good human energy. This is just fucking ugh. And of course that's 2011. So here we are. And
then once they added intersectionality to that, then that's what obviously happened in the more recent protests, where you have a certain protest for a certain thing, and then you add, and also people of color, and also LGBT rights, and then it all intertwines. And then it's kind of like, well, what was the original thing we're here for? Because like Occupy, I was never a fan, but like there are things like you said, like End the Fed, and there's certain monetary issues, printing money, gold standard, where you could kind of be like, is this what you guys are talking about? Because that actually would solve some problems. But then they mix it up with all this other stupid stuff, and then you have people debating the other stupid stuff, and then we're kind of going like this with each other when the people who are doing the bad banking and the taking us off the gold standard and the Federal Reserve and the money printing, they're kind of like just positioning us to go against each other, and no one realizes who the real problem is.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of like the tail of the tape for forever.
Well, aside from all of that bottom of the barrel, I would say bumping of heads, and all of the societal discord that is kind of like produced out of nowhere to keep us all at each other's throats. There is also these thicker layers of predictive programming that continues to be given to us. And I did not see this new Obama film on Netflix. I want to go check it out, especially since we've been waiting for anything that is going to come and bolster the Klaus Schwab announcements from 2020 about how, oh, you thought COVID was bad. That's going to be a minor inconvenience compared to a full-on cyber pandemic. They've been telling us this for a couple of years now, and now it's starting to be, we got a summer of NATO summits and everybody talking about Article 5 and how cyber attacks can be a part of that. We got that, then a little bit of a lull, then there was Cyber Polygon, a little bit of a lull, and now we're getting major messaging again, not only from the news about China and cyber attacks and all this other stuff, but now the movies, especially when you know when the sourcing is coming from. You had seen this before. What'd you think about it?
Yep, I saw it. It was entertaining. It was nice production, but there's definitely subliminal messaging for sure. There was even like a moment where the two kids, one kid's wearing an Obey shirt, and then the girl is wearing a NASA shirt. So it says Obey NASA, which is like, come on, a little on the nose. And then there's a part, no spoilers, but there's a part where all the Teslas are crashing into each other. They're just empty cars just programmed and crashing on the highway. So like Crash Tesla is kind of what I took from that. And then they really made it seem like they really tried to break stereotypes. So the main character, who was black, he owned the house that Sandra Bullock and her husband were staying in. And he's on the board of the Philharmonic, really breaking stereotypes.
I know.
Really breaking stereotypes there. And Sandra Bullock's racist and doesn't trust black people, but the black people don't trust white people, but rightfully so, because they keep explaining how all of society's problems are because of like white selfishness and white manipulation. And, it's time for, it would be different if other people were in control and in power. So they kind of had that subliminal messaging. And then it kind of makes me think, if they do cut the power, the message that people are going to have is like, oh, the power's out. We probably got into another problem because of, white people got us here into these problems. And then with the power going out for extended periods of time, especially if there's an event right before it. So I don't want to like get too conspiratorial or too spirally here, but like, imagine if you had a George Floyd situation. Like imagine it's 2020. George Floyd situation happens, and then the power goes out. You have like a purge situation.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
and the purge also is the predictive programming too. So there is a world where the power goes out right after something unfortunate happens, and then you have a lot of mad people with all these different things telling them in their brain from all different angles, from all different corporations and media and content, that like white people are the ones who screwed everything up. And then there's going to be a moment where it's like, hey, the power's out. All the security systems are down. All the phones are dead. We can kind of do whatever we want. And it was already like, the groundwork was already laid out with BLM in 2020, where you can kind of do whatever you want, not get in trouble. But now imagine that with the cover of Less Tech.
Less Tech. Less Tech,
that's
and
kind of what I see.
And the permission. I mean, I have not seen this other one, but I want to see it this weekend. And then I saw the release of a trailer today for some movie called the Magic Negroes. Did you see that? Too. Now, you want to talk about even the soft messaging of this stuff, where, I mean, based on just a 2-minute trailer that they put out there, you have this one, I guess, this meek-looking, unassuming black, maybe not teenager, maybe a little bit older, and he's being told and he's being taught how you essentially need to walk through this minefield of life with almost like a magical sense of knowing your surroundings and knowing how to appease white people who are so fragile and are so on edge that if you don't have some kind of almost like a magic quality to you, they will just gobble you up. And it's not only that, but you need to be able to represent yourself in all things in matter of love and all that other shit. And it's just from 2 minutes. Who knows what the hell it is? But again, there is even in movies that are supposedly lighthearted, it's based upon we come up in a world where we have to watch out because we live amongst piranha, and it's so unsettling. And you know what I really appreciated? You might have seen it too. Steven Crowder, what he did this week, He went in. He did an episode where he went into a barbershop and he was hanging out with a bunch of black patrons and black barbers and all that, and really just tried to shake people awake and remember that our everyday experiences around other people, they are not as bad as there's still bad work being done out there. There's generations of children they're trying to ruin. They're trying to make us look at each other as if we are racial and class enemies and sexual enemies and all that other shit. So they are making inroads and they are ruining people, but there's so many people in the world, and the average experience of just leaving the house is not that bitter. And we got to keep that in mind because as you can see, the messaging, as you said, they are giving people the reason to do whatever the hell they want when the lights go out. And as far as the lights going out, here's one for you. This is from today. This is from Newsweek. Headline: Donald Trump may, quote, turn off the internet, end quote, if elected, former staffer says. Talk about projection, my friend.
Yeah.
Talk about projection.
Sure, that's Trump's plan.
Yes, that's Trump's plan. All right, so that's where we're at.
What you said is, oh, sorry to interrupt.
No,
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm done.
Well, I was gonna say what you said is very true, because the more people are glued to their phones, the less they're person-to-person interacting, and then the easier it is to convince them that person-to-person interacting is dangerous or it's bad or white people want you dead or whatever. And that's why with This Week in Culture, I try to always end it on uplifting gold, I call it. So it's like just something to kind of, and even in my show, I always end the show with uplifting gold. And I always say, don't get too down, don't get too depressed. We're moving on to uplifting gold, just to kind of remind people, like, you can still have a baby who's learning how to walk. You can still take your kid to a baseball game. Like, it's not fully toast and fully gone yet, but it might be after 2024, to be honest.
I'm with you.
If in 24, if we don't win, they're going to do amnesty pretty quick, and then in 2028 they'll say vote for us, or the Republicans will deport you, and then we'll never win another election again, I think.
Well, it's already very hard to think about how you can win an election aside from we're talking about landslides in voter participation.
Yeah.
We
have to have like a landslide to the point that no matter what is done to oppose it, it's like you can win even with whatever they're going to cook up. We have to win by like 15%.
Well, dude, as we were going into 2020, I remember talking to you about this because leading up to November of that year, we all went on each other's shows and we're asking the question, so what do you think we're going to be talking about this time next year? Now, at this point in 2023, that's another big question. What the hell are we doing on December 15th, 2024? When the election is already over a month behind us, who knows? And that's on top of just 10 months or 11 months of 2024 in general. Who knows? But we were saying back then, when we were asking, hey, you think that Trump's going to win? He's got a shot in 2020? I said the real question is whether or not he's going to be able to overcome fraud. It's the only thing. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I think. And now this, who knows, man? Who knows? But the predictive programming on this is really, really something else. And I don't know. It's just nuts. It's just the hellhounds. Did you see the porn that was made in the Senate chamber? Matt, did you see that?
Yeah. No.
Fleccas,
I don't have time anymore. I used to where during every Friday that I watched Fleccas, your podcast, since episode 1.
Oh, thank you, Matt.
It's kind of hard to now because I'm working. I can't, I was driving around listening to it. I look forward to yeah.
Well,
best new podcast of all time, man.
The best new podcast of all time.
Thank you. The best new podcast of all time. Like, the phrase itself makes no sense.
I love it.
Yeah, best new podcast ever. Yeah.
Well, listen. Tell Matt.
Yeah. So there was a gay sex tape made in the Senate hearing room, which kind of makes sense at this point because we had the trans White House party, we had the Sam Britton luggage twink, we had the monkeypox guy, and the final piece, the piece de resistance, is the gay sex in the building.
Was it a professionally done porn, or was it like a voyeurism?
No.
They're using.
It was like a video just recorded, like selfie cam. I just put a pot of coffee on. I'm gonna be watching the video all night. I'm gonna be looking for clues.
Don't Don't worry. I'm going to get to the bottom.
Over and over and over. I'm trying to get the uncensored version so I can just find clues, you know?
Yeah. Going to get to the bottom of this one.
It really was disgusting, Matt. It was bad, and it was a staffer of, I forget which senator.
Ben Cardin.
Yeah.
It was Ben Cardin.
And, yeah. I don't know. They'll probably get in trouble. They'll probably get fired, but it'll be a slap on the wrist.
Well,
slap on the dainty wrist.
On the dainty wrist. Well, here it is. It's the Daily Caller had not confirmed the identities of either party in the amateur porn video. So there's two guys in the Senate chamber that are just. It's just, dude. Everything. There's
to
nothing
burn down
left.
the Senate chamber and rebuild it.
There's nothing left to be shocked about.
January 6th. Way worse than January 6th.
Absolutely. He said the Daily Caller reviewed the chat where the video leaked and confirmed it was shared in a private group for gay men in politics. And
a scalp for them. It's like a scalp. That's like we got in and look what we did. And they claimed the territory, I guess.
I know. Representative Mike Collins, he said this. He said, heck of a week for the left. Gay porn in the Senate, swearing in ceremony on child porn in Virginia. You saw that one?
What?
With the books, yeah.
Yeah, there was this local official. I forgot what the hell her name was and what office she's holding out there. But as a sign of solidarity with all of the books that have been banned, it's gay blowjob tutorials.
I shared photos of genderqueer on Facebook, and I got in trouble for it.
Yeah, well,
but that's good for kids, I guess.
Yeah.
And Frank, that's the same thing we said too about like, oh, I'm not going to get sworn in on the Bible because that's normal. I'm going to go the opposite just to get rid of these old normal ways. And it's like, okay, you're swearing in on like a child porn book. Just to own the traditional people, like, okay, is this a good plan for you?
She took her oath, Matt. She put her hand on not only genderqueer but a couple of other books, and it was supposed to be symbolic of her
stunning and brave.
Yeah, standing for free speech. Even though, how is the irony not lost on that? How do they go through all of this, acting this way unironically? Where they're not just trying to be cheeky about I'm for freedom of speech and the First Amendment, but at the same time, we're talking about just the thirst for censoring people and for shutting people down. It can't be. There's no competition for it. It's just incredible how they can have two dueling things because, of course, it's not a principle. It's a bias there. But there you have. It's not only that. The tranny tap dancers at the White House, and of course the Satanic statues in Iowa. You guys saw that too, right?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Of course.
What do you think?
And for that one, it's like, oh, it's free speech, and not for Satanic stuff. Everything else, free speech, different religions, okay. Satanic, like a Moloch thing or whatever it was, not doing that. Like that's how it has to be. And I feel like back in the day, when it was, I don't want to say, mostly men running the thing, but like imagine it's 1955 and someone comes in and goes, hey, they want to put up a goat thing for the Satanic temple with a bunch of candles. Some guy with a cigarette would go, we're not doing that. What's next? And that would be it.
Yep.
But now it's like, well, everyone needs to be allowed. And if we don't do it for them, then we could be next. And like, it's like the slippery slope. So you have to do everything. And then to prove that you do the worst possible thing, it's like, we're not doing certain things. How about that?
You're right. You're right. And the whole, we got to do it for them or else we could be next. The whole thing is that it's they're the ones. It's this movement.
Yeah, they're the ones coming for us. What are you talking about?
Yeah, this is part of it.
They're already getting us.
The fact that they've already gotten into the culture to the place where it is now acceptable for having these after-school Satan programs in red states all over the country. A lot of those are popping up in red states. That is the whole thing there. They got in, they softened our resolve, they softened and completely churned and turned our culture and our cultural cohesion into mulch. And then you have this. Now you got Baphomet all over the place, and they're saying, well, if we don't let them in, then they're going to come for us. I mean, they're already inside the gates. They come for us.
They're the ones who are getting us.
Oh my!
It's so brutal.
I know. So then listen. Obviously, it's war. So that statue was up in Iowa, and then this guy went and I don't know, I forgot the profile of the guy, but he went and beheaded it. He pretty much attacked the statue. It's been destroyed. What do you think about that? Because a lot of people are like, you know what, I found the statue repulsive as well, but we can't act like brutes. I don't know, man. I think we needed a little bit of a crusader spirit right now.
Yeah. And on that situation, like whenever people push back on it, they'll like widen out to like a more broad general perspective of like attacking someone else's free speech. And it's not that. It's this specific individual situation. It's a satanic statue during Christmas in the state capitol. It's not, like attacking someone's free speech in general. It's this moment on December whatever, there's a satanic statue and this Christian man went and knocked it down. So like that's fine. But like the way that they try to debate it and make it a point is by like going wider and then applying it to every single possible situation. And it's just like, nah, in this situation, do it. Yeah. Fine. If it was a Muslim thing or a menorah, I would say, oh yeah, you shouldn't be knocking down those religious things. They have the right to present in the state capitol. That's different. But once it's like a literal anti-Christmas position and an anti-Christmas statue during Christmas, they're just doing it to troll. And then all those Satanist people, it's all just a troll for them. So it's like individually looking at it on this one issue on what it literally is, knock it down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's what I want to ask you this question. We have about 12 minutes left in this first half, and then I want to. You have a little bit of time to bounce over with us past the intermission.
Yeah,
okay, because right there, I'll just throw you a couple of fun questions, and that we can laugh a little bit more about. But I want to have this on the record for the first half. Is I was watching last night. I was watching a rerun of a Christmas special that I did here in 2019 with my parents. And this is something I have to bring up over the course of the next week, especially when they come in, and I can pose this to them as well. But I was watching it with just a certain sense of awe. It was so heartwarming to me. It was also pretty stark to see how lighthearted. There was an energy in the room that I don't know if I could reproduce. It was December 2019. There were so many factors there that I'm taking into account. The people calling in, the energy in people's voices. You think about that before and after. December 2019, and then December 2020. What a different world it was. That even though we held our heads up, we were able to maintain employment somehow. We did our thing. We kept our closest friends as close as we could. We all stuck together. But you can tell that we had all been through something, and that there is, I don't know if those people, where are those people that I was looking at that were just so lighthearted? And it's not like we didn't have problems in 2019, but what we have gone through these last couple of years, man, when you look back at your work from December 2019 and before, have you, I don't know if you look back that far and reminisce on some stuff, but do you notice a different energy to things? Because you're just like me. You kept working. You have good perspective on the world, I believe. But, man, we've all been through some shit, and it's hard not to notice a difference. It's almost like I'm looking at 2019 through a different Instagram filter or something. There was just a difference to the atmosphere.
Yeah, we had a lot of hope back then. We had our guy in office. Things were, changing for the better. We were seeing changes happen. We had like a hope for the future. And then they kind of like united society around COVID in like a negative way. And then imagine like, high frequency, high vibration is like really good energy. That is contagious. That elevates, if your energy's up here and someone's energy's here, it kind of like brings them up. So it's like that was like a good vibe. 2019 was great. Everyone's feeling good. There's hope. There's optimism. And then once they united everyone around COVID, that like brought the energy back down, and it knocked like the people with high good energy to energy, people with energy to bad energy, and it just like lowered and it like leveled everyone down. And it's like a slow build to get back up. But I do think like the correct energy, not even for everybody, but just for a certain number of people who have the correct energy, that can be extrapolated and like the ripple from good energy from a few people can actually it's like what you need instead. But once you have bad energy from everybody and you're fully defeated, that's when they win. So it's just like a matter of like keeping the optimism even when times are bad. So through the 2020 election, even through January, I was hopeful that something was going to happen and turn around. And then obviously it didn't. So then I got a little down and depressed or whatever for like a year. But now I'm slowly building my optimism. I widen my time frame. What's the next checkpoint? What's the next goal? Where's the next place we can win? And then you kind of like widen out like that. And then if you build that energy back up, you'll see the people who were sad the last few years, they'll kind of look to you and be like, oh, like you're hopeful for something. Maybe we do have a chance. And they start spreading the word. Oh, we have a chance. Trump's going to win this year or whatever it is. So I think it's like an energy game, and the bad guys, the powers that be, they've been using events historically, 9/11, COVID, to like lower the collective frequency of everyone who sees whatever the event that they put on is. So it's like if you can kind of escape that and maintain your energy no matter what, and always have a little bit of hope, even if it's like delusional optimism, which I think I have. I'm delusionally optimistic because I know if I think, we're fucked, it's over, then that's where things get dangerous.
Oh yeah.
That's where things get ugly. Once it's like we're hopeless, then they actually can win and do what they're going to do. They can't really do that until you quit. As long as the key people don't quit, I think we can kind of pull it out. No doubt.
And I think that we've done a good job with that too. I'm always very, very focused on making sure that even when we're talking about hard topics, there's a string of humor put into it, that we use mockery very strategically. Obviously, your work speaks for itself. I mean, it's the reason why I try to get Matt here as much as possible. People like they just want to hang out and just have something to look forward to right now. And that is how through, especially since from 2020 until this very point, and we're about to walk through the threshold of a year that might be even worse, because in 2020 they were able to use one thing against us. Everything was launched, everything on a get out the vote angle, everything that is as far as restrictions go, everything on censorship goes, everything like that was really launched on the back of this virus that they said it was out there and ravaging the world. And because we are 3 years removed from that, and Pfizer is tanking, well, at least not tanking, but their profits are going down. People who were willing to go out and get medicine before at everybody's request are not doing it anymore. There's always a new strain going around that people aren't really paying attention to. We're all feeling the strain because the economy is a lot weaker. It's just at that point, how many things are they going to have to combine to throw at us? So thinking that, I really do believe that most people, if you see what's going on, if you've been so-called red-pilled, then it's like it's managing the strength of your shields. And a lot of us have good perspective and are able to see what's coming and just kind of separate the bullshit from what is most important. But even then, I mean, even if you deal with it, even if you can do that sifting with your mind and your heart, it still is a task. It's like it's an exercise every day, and it wears on you, man. It really does. That's why every once in a while we need to find a way to really have just a big, a blowout. We got to have a big blowout, fun something. We need like a Woodstock of our own. I don't know what the hell it is. We need something to
Trump stock.
Trump stock, yeah. Yeah, well, that's...
Well, when Trump first got elected, there was, I forget what they called it, but it was like a MAGA prom, basically. It was like a gala, like a MAGA, I forget what they called it, MAGA ball maybe in 2017, or maybe it was 2016, right after the election. That was cool. Like, we need some things to congregate around, but we also kind of need to take power back a little bit first. But like, adding to what you said, basically in 2020, how I saw it, it's like they had the George Floyd situation, and they use these events and COVID, obviously, with the mail-in votes, they use them just to almost sell the narrative. It's not necessarily what happened, but it's like how they justify how it plays out. So it's like you have George Floyd happen, and then you have COVID with the mail-in votes, and then you say, oh yeah, Trump lost because everyone was mad about George Floyd, and then they voted against Trump. But it's like, that's just the thing that happened to justify the amount of votes that went through the machines. I don't think all those, my personal opinion, I don't think all of those mail-in ballots were legitimate, but people aren't going to question the election because they're going to go, oh yeah, George Floyd happened. Everyone got super mad about that. That's why Trump lost. And then the Democrats, they voted mail-in because they were scared of, catching COVID. So like, it's not even as much what they need to do to make people get out and vote Democrat as much it is to sell the narrative to everyone watching so they can at least believe that 81 million people went and voted for Joe Biden because Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd and black people are oppressed and white people are a problem and Donald Trump is racist. So it's not even like they need the events to get the people to do what they wanted to do. They need the events to sell the script. So when people say, oh, how did Trump lose and Joe Biden get 81 million votes? If they didn't have George Floyd, they'd say, oh, everyone voted from home. And then everyone would go, wait a sec. Everyone voted from home for Joe Biden? That doesn't make sense. So they just need like the events to sell it a little bit to the people, just so there's not enough of people going, that doesn't make sense. 81 million? Are you sure?
That's why having the media has always been very important. They just speak things into reality, and it's not reality.
Exactly. It's like they cast a spell, basically.
That's it. I mean, you just say it enough. You say, well, hey, listen, the Donald Trump is sinking. All these polls, everything. It's supposed to. It inflates confidence where it's not supposed to be. It depresses confidence where it already is to try to be able to level things out, and then everything after there is just. Oh, well, it makes sense that this was the outcome because look at how bad the headlines have been for so-and-so this past couple of months. And you're talking right there on a national level. It's even worse on a smaller local regional level, too. I don't believe that New York is as blue as it is. It's just that we have New York, that's a deep blue state. It's just we've accepted that. They're trying to make Pennsylvania the new New York and California. I mean, as of 2000, it was only 2008 that Prop 8 passed with, I don't know, how much out there in the gay marriage bill in California. It was only 2008. We're talking about majorities that were putting Republican governors into these states. Now, I understand there is open borders. I understand there's one thing or another. But I really do believe that all you need to do is steal a few. And then all of a sudden, it's a trend, and people just, that state's purple. It's going to be blue anytime. And then the day that it's taken, it's just, it makes sense. It's been trending that way for a while. I believe the trends are bullshit, too, aside from the fact that, we live around a lot of people who are fucking stupid. But whatever.
Yeah, like you said, for New York, it's exactly that. Long Island is red. New York State, a lot of it is red. And then they own the whole state, making it blue from New York City. And it's like, how many of those votes are people that are actually going and pulling the lever? How many are just like, oh, I get a vote and then this lady comes and takes it. I don't even know what she's doing with it. That's what happened in Pennsylvania too. It all comes down to like Philadelphia. Basically, the whole state now is gonna, blue because of Philadelphia, but the whole state's actually red.
Yeah.
They just get their little scams going, and then they, like you said, they sell it, and then they have trends, and then it's like on them to fulfill the destiny that they're kind of like putting the breadcrumbs in front of everyone else. So it's like, oh yeah, Texas, that's purple. Like, what are you talking about? Texas isn't purple. But with that, eventually you're not going to have any pushback because it's been, drip, drip, drip for 20, 30 years like that.
Right. Yep. Oh, there's more we can put onto that cake, but for now, we're going to bounce over to quitefrankly.tv, to pilled.net. All those links are in the description below. There's no paywall, nothing, my friends. It's just a click on over. You can still cast to your television. That is where the second half is going to be live. After the fact, we are going to have this episode, as we do every night, uploaded to Rumble, to Rockfin, to BitChute, to Twitter. It's going to be available across all podcast platforms, but there's nothing like live. And we have Fleccas for a few more minutes. We have some fun stuff to throw his way now. And I'm just going to mute you, my friend, and we will be back in just a second, guys and gals. So come on over. The Friday has not even begun to suck yet. Okay. Oh man, I wish that there was a way to communicate with the guest when and not have everybody else hear us.
Oh, he would have been rolling.
If only Fleccas were in studio. Dude, are you doing any traveling this year? I will pay for your plane ticket to come up at least one time in 24.
I'll come up in 24 for one time. I don't travel a lot. I do a July 4th break. So I do the show every week, twice a week, and then July 4th break, and then I have a Christmas break for like 10 days. So July 4th, I'm home. I'm going to be home next weekend for like a week. So maybe next week, but it's going to be during literal Christmas.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah, because your mom's still here, right?
Yeah. My parents, and they live in Long Island where I grew up. And my sister lives in New Jersey with her family. My younger brother and I, we go up there. Christmas and July 4th is like the main times we're home. But I try to get home in like May in the spring too. So I promise a 2024 in studio.
Yeah,
it gives me plenty of time. It gives me 375 days to figure it out.
Yeah. No, we'll figure it out. Matt, obviously, I'll let you know. If that happens, you got to get here. But you know what? Speaking of Jersey, could you wish our friend Melanie from Jersey a happy birthday?
Happy birthday, Melanie. Hope it's a good one. You are the best.
See? And he's a Jersey kid. So you guys are all, paisan. That's what we want to hear. Let me see.
Real quick, also, I figured that right now, with the headset on, the background, it's a little dark on the outside. It's kind of light around your head. Dude, you look like Padre Pio. You look like a fucking saint right now.
Yeah. This means
with that magical beard he's got.
This means that you're a Franciscan.
I went to a Franciscan high school.
Did you?
Oh.
So
dude, this makes sense.
Back then, I had long hair back then. Or I had like a normal head. I actually didn't realize I should buzz my head until like 2020. I buzzed it really, really shorter than I've ever buzzed it. And I was like, damn, this is what I should have been doing the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I do. My cousin is a Franciscan friar. Well, he's a priest now, but he was a Franciscan friar for years.
Wow. See?
Sweet. Yeah, I went to St. Anthony's High School in Suffolk County.
Wow. Okay, I went to Archbishop Stepanak.
I went to public school.
I know Stepanak, of course.
You know Stepanak?
Yeah,
it's world
Stepanak
famous.
And Monsignor Farrell and St. Francis Prep.
Yeah,
I know all those schools. We play them in football.
Yeah, we apparently Stepanak had a really big. I don't know who was it. Was it a basketball player or a football player? Somebody got drafted. It's like in a serious I forget who it was.
Maybe Art Monk.
I don't know. I don't know
because Monk. Whatever.
I'll ask Koss. He'll be able to know. Here, let me ask you
real
this.
Quick, Frank, do you see this?
Yes.
Black wheelchair Santa.
I heard about that. That's real.
So they sell it at Target. I bought 10. I had to buy 10 of them, and they're only $3.50. I would have paid $50 for it.
Yeah.
So I got 10, and then I have a lot of the show watchers buying it too. And I'm pretty sure 90% of the Black wheelchair Santa sales from Target are ironic purchases. 95%.
I can't believe they just can't help themselves.
I'm gonna go pick one up.
Dude, they just can't help themselves.
And they look at the papers, they're probably like, sales are pretty good. And then everyone making fun of them.
Like, do you understand people want Black wheel? I cannot believe. When did this premiere? This year?
This was this year. There was also a trans flag nutcracker, which is also a little ironic.
Oh, yeah.
That's a little.
He cracked his own nuts
jokey.
first.
Yeah.
Cracked his own nuts first.
Target's been on it.
Mike, Black wheelchair Santa. Now, did you bring that up on the show recently?
Yeah, I showed it, I think last week. And then on today's show, I actually bought a full Black Santa life size. And then I could get it, but it would be crazy. It would take 20 seconds.
Wait, hold on. Black wheelchair Santa. I want to see if they have it on. Wait, no. I'm on Amazon right now. They don't have Black wheelchair Santa, but they do have.
Try Target. Target website has it, but a lot of people tell me it's sold out because they're trying to buy it as a gag gift and they can't even find it anymore.
Target becomes like the new Spencer's Gifts.
Do they have a white Santa in a wheelchair?
Yeah, I saw a white
Yeah,
Santa.
they do.
I saw that on it was a Christmas ornament on. But let me see. I'm on Target's website right now, and I'm going to just see Black Santa wheelchair. Oh, yep. Hold on. We've got him. There. Santa fabric Christmas figurine in wheelchair holding a gift. There he is.
There he is.
Black. It's only $5. It's only $5. I think I'm going to give this to everybody in my family.
That's exactly what I did. I got a huge box of them, and they came to my house like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and it's the best thing I've ever got.
I'm bookmarking this. Oh wow! Thank you so much for that, man. Wow,
That's a good tip.
No,
I got
it
good
is.
Tips like that.
Well, it's last minute stuff right now. People are freaking out. They don't know what the hell they're going to get anybody. And now I know at least 300 people are going to go buy this. They're going to say, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah, that's funny. It's like I don't know what to get people. Thank God I actually figured it out. I know exactly what to get my certain type of friends.
Can
They're
you
gonna love the Black Wheelchair Santa.
But can you imagine this? If this becomes the new way of protesting, if they start feeling like people are only buying their products because they're being mocked.
And then they take it off the shelves.
Yeah.
And we have the end goal of getting it off the shelves and Christmas being normal. It's almost like an offensive move.
Listen, what the hell is $5? If everybody put $5 in to have this ridiculous thing, this ridiculous political creation, where you have a black.
I think we cracked it. I call that cracking it, Frank. I think we cracked it.
Well, because think about this. What are they going to do? They're going to raise the price unless people are going to. Then I think they're going to price people out of buying it. They're going to have to take it off the shelves anyway because they won't sell. And then and the only reason why it is selling is because people think it's so ridiculous and they don't want to be a joke. This would be.
Is the white wheelchair Santa more money
on social media?
Yeah.
Does the white
with all the people posting it?
Does the white wheelchair Santa cost more money, or are they both the same price?
Oh shit, that's a good question.
That's a good question.
Hold on a second. Black wheelchair Santa and white one.
The white one's got to be at least 50 cents more.
No, they're all $5. And that's with or without the wheelchair too. The standing Santas are fine. Did you see that Mrs. Claus is black now too? According to the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Day Parade.
The Macy's Day Parade. I did see that.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of transgenders sprinkled in that performance as well, I noticed.
Sprinkling it all. Here's a couple of super chats. Hey, Frank. What's up, Matt? Hello to you all, Franklies and Franciscans. Fleccas rocks almost as much as Stostube. This is from Jay Britt. So there you go, Fleccas. Dooku Dan says power and cyber grids have also been compromised by meritless diversity hires who have no actual experience, so any system failures could be easily blamed on old white guys instead of the woke DEI practices that really cause it. It's a Hegelian setup, says Dooku Dan.
Rings true.
Rings true for me. Let's see. Let's go over to Rumble. Make sure we didn't miss anything over there. I don't think that we did. I have a couple of things that came in before the show started, though, Fleccas. Here's the first one for you. Bear versus gorilla. Who wins? Not a black bear. It has to be something bigger than a black.
Grizzly?
Like the biggest bear they got, right?
The polar bear.
Like the biggest gorilla they got.
Which would be a silverback.
I think bear.
Yeah. Because
gorilla needs to get you. Bear's claws, a gorilla can't defend against that, and it can't do offensive moves like a bear can. Like a bear can do many offensive moves that would kill the gorilla before a gorilla could even land an offensive. What's an offensive move for a gorilla? Just kind of
to rip you apart.
They just kind of smash you.
And also, a bear will be able to stand on its two hind legs and fight like that as well.
Gorillas do.
Yeah.
They stand.
I know, that's what I'm saying, but the bear can do it too. So you know what I mean? Like the bear will stand up. It'll be way bigger than the gorilla.
Yeah.
So it'll be coming down, swiping at it.
If it's a silverback versus a black bear, though, silverback wins.
No
you
way.
Think even a black bear?
They don't have enough weapons because the bear got all the claws on 4 and the teeth, and they got the size on them.
So thick.
Yeah.
It's so thick that you can't even I don't even know how a gorilla gets to whatever the prime target on a bear would be.
Yeah, I don't.
You're not going to the gorillas aren't going to puncture.
So
it's going to be like a force attack, and then I don't even know. Can you knock a bear out with a hit? I don't know.
Not long enough, but yeah, it'd be like probably a 10-minute battle.
I didn't even give the black bear a chance.
Well, black bear, that's a little smaller than a polar bear or a grizzly bear.
Yeah. But you say that even a black bear would take out a gorilla.
I would have to say, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's great. You know, I just got a text message from one of my producers, Krista, and she said Target had a skeleton in a wheelchair for Halloween. LOL. So I guess it's been going on for a while.
A skeleton in a wheelchair. It's like,
trying
isn't it a spooky haunted thing that doesn't even like have muscles?
There wasn't enough.
It still has like a.
It's all about representation there, Fleccas. There wasn't enough disabled skeletons represented in Halloween decorations.
Let's see if they do the Easter Bunny in a wheelchair this year.
Please, if there's.
And then I was looking at Barbies for. I have a niece. They have like I forget. I don't know how to pronounce it. Vitiligo. Like that.
Vitiligo.
Vitiligo. They have a vitiligo Ken doll, and I bought that too.
Oh my god!
I have a whole bunch of stuff. I have a lot of stuff. Can I take you on a quick walk?
Yes, please. Hold on.
I'll show you my my other Santa. Now that we're in the second half of the show.
Is Richard
Dark
Ratboy
first-
hiding somewhere in there?
Not in here. And you ready? Oh, he's not plugged in. He sings in Spanish.
Oh,
what?
So he's Dominican.
Yeah, he's exactly. I thought it was a black full-size Santa, and it's a Dominican Santa.
Oh,
instead.
okay. So he's like a David
Let me
Ortiz.
see if I can get this plugged in.
David Ortiz Santa. You see, you put that in the middle of a room facing toward the door. You open it up. The first thing you come face to face with that thing, you scare the shit out of somebody.
Yeah, it's very scary.
You know what you're doing, though, Fleccas? You think about all of the things, the obscure toys, the obscure stuff that really just dates. You think about the stuff that our parents had growing up in the 60s and the 70s and stuff. All the things that might have been really weird back then, but if they were kept mint condition, not only is it just, as it drifts into antiquity, it has its own kind of value in itself, but the fact that you're buying things right now that is a reflection on the mental decline of the country. I mean, the black wheelchair Santa and the vitiligo
it's like a
Barbie.
sign of the times.
Exactly. I mean, this is going. Hopefully, one day it's going to be. Wow, things were getting that bad. Yes.
And that's exactly how I see it, where it's like a sign of the times. It's like the worst rock bottom of the times, and I'm going to collect all the stuff. So in 20 years, I'm going to have like all the videos from This Week in Culture, but then I'm also going to have all the items that they try to do.
Dude, you can start a museum. You can start a Fleccas museum.
That's what I want to do.
Belongs in a museum.
Whoa. What?
Looks like he's beating off.
Isn't that pretty good?
Jingle bell. Yeah. That's it. Jingle bell.
That was a mission to get in here and do that.
Oh my gosh. Hey, well, thank you for that. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
He's mobile.
That's what I got going on. It's like a little, it's like a Pee Wee Herman house where every room's got these weird items and gadgets and things I collect.
What was the word of the day?
Where's that?
The word of the day. If it's Pee Wee's Playhouse, they always had a word of the day. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
When somebody,
yeah.
Everybody starts screaming whenever somebody says the word of the day. You remember that? We should do that.
Yeah.
We should pick the word of the night from now. I don't know. But every once in a while.
Word of the day is job. J-O-B.
Here's another one from the audience. Fleccas, will you help Jerry poop when he's an old dog, or are you going to trade him in?
Yeah, so that is referencing a certain clip from Bonus Land on the show where a guy had a disabled dog who had like no back legs, and then every day the dog has to use the bathroom, and he like he holds the dog over the shower and the dog pees, and then he holds him over the toilet and then he wipes the dog's butt. And I said, love Jerry, my dog, but anything close to that, it's just, hey buddy, I'll see you on the other side.
Dude. I little old yeller. I was flipping through some Instagram reels the other night, And there was this, I don't know why the hell people think this is a good idea, but there was this couple who wanted to show how, what they're doing for their dog that was obviously had something catastrophic happen to it. You know how sometimes there's a dog that has either 3 legs, and then there's a dog that has paralyzed back feet. First, it got run over or something, but otherwise healthy and all that. And they put him on a skateboard, and he still enjoys life and whatever. You're like, oh, good, the thing's enjoying its life. This dog was paralyzed from the neck down. And they
was that the one where he had the rollerblades on his feet and they were just dragging him down the street?
You've seen it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Matt.
I'm very well versed in the disabled pets algorithm.
Dude, Matt, they put this dog into a harness, so it's just dangling there. It can't move. It's just dangling there, and the harness has 4 wheels on it. And then on the dog's feet were wheels of their own, so as his paws were dragging along the floor, it wasn't wearing down his paws. It was just, there was more wheels there to allow it to, and they're going on a jog with their healthy dog on a leash, and the other dog, which is just literally being dragged on wheels behind them. And they think that they're putting this out to the internet saying, we're not giving up on you, buddy. As long as he's still eating and drinking, then, we don't find it the reason why we have to put him down. I knew everybody in the comments, Fleccas, was going to agree with me. How fucking selfish to keep an animal alive like that. I mean...
Yeah, people just need, like, a purpose. They don't have a purpose in their life, and then it's like... This dog requires 5 hours of stuff a day. There's some purpose for you, especially if you don't have a kid, and then it's like the dog's your kid and you don't want to put it down. But I think it's stronger not to take care of an animal like that. It's actually stronger to make the hard decision, hey, your life's not worth it anymore. It's kind of over as of today after your bad accident. Sorry it happened. But the better, harder decision is ending the life of that dog instead of dragging him around on rollerblades.
Yeah, man. Yeah, especially since he had another dog companion, and the other dog is just kind of jumping ahead of him and stuff, and he's just there, and he's not moving. It's so weird. All right, here's a question. This one came from John, and John said, "Could you please ask Fleccas I'm sorry. Okay." Which race would be better suited for Elon Musk's colony on Mars?
That's interesting, because there's a risk aspect of it where they might not come back.
Right.
So you don't want to send the best ones, but then you also need to send competent ones. So you have to kind of go in the middle somewhere. I think white people would be good up there. Somewhere
in the middle.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's enough. I think there's enough at this point who will say, "Yeah, send me. I'll go." And I see what you're. I see what you're getting at there. We have to leave all the Asians behind, right? They have to be here to man the fort.
We can't just send the Asians in case they don't come back, because then we need people to do better than us on all of the metrics,
right?
On income and tests and SATs and colleges. So we can't send our best guys. Okay. The Asians are the best.
Hey, listen, but that's just, you can't get around it. As far as performance goes, you just can't get around it. And even culture, even as far as keeping their culture together. We may not fit in with their culture, but hell, it doesn't go anywhere. And here's one.
They run a tight ship over there. They run a tight ship.
They do. All right, here's one last thing I have for you before we can start saying our goodbyes and our happy Thanksgiving to you too. But Christmases and New Year's. We've been discussing this ad nauseum lately, and I want to know what you, and if you have been able to run this by Richard Ratboy, I would love to know this too. But if you're in a situation where you have to fight off an oncoming horde of third graders, these are fully physically capable 8-year-old boys and girls, but they have vicious intent. They want to take you out. How many do you think that you can take on at once, no matter what the method is? There's no weapons. It's just you and your physical ability. How many do you think that you can take on without, one is just one too many?
That's interesting, because if they're attacking me and I ball up and I can breathe, they can't hit me and strike me hard enough to kill me.
Right.
So it's like I could basically, you could fill the room up with them, and I could just get into a corner, and then the worst they could do would be like punch my ribs, I guess, but they wouldn't break my ribs. They wouldn't hit anything vital. So I think the number is as many as you could fit in the arena that this is happening. And then at a certain point, it's like if you're surrounded, say you're surrounded by 20, the 20 outside of them don't even matter. If there could be 100 outside of them, but like the access to me is only like a 2-foot diameter. So it's almost like once you're able to handle 20 of them, then you can handle 200 of them, because the 180 other ones can't even get to you as long as you're like protecting the vitals and holding it down. So if I'm like this, as tight as I can, and all they're doing is kicking and hitting me and jumping on me and punching me, I don't think they could even do that much damage.
Okay, so you would say you want to get yourself into unlimited. Because at a certain point, after the first 20, it could be 200, it could be 2,000. They're not going to even be able to touch me. So you and Matt are on the same page.
But if I have to fight back, and if I have to like fight back, that's different.
No. This is the whole thing. How many can you fight off? I mean, because listen, I understand a fully grown man and an 8-year-old. It should not be an issue, especially if there's no weapons involved. But we are just flesh and bone. I mean, you can only hit so many, human skulls with your fist before finally you just can't take another impact. You have your knees, you have your elbows, you have your heels. But
what's the worst impact they can do to us?
Kick you in the nuts.
What's the worst they could do? They can kick me in the nuts, so I'm covered up. But like, what's the hardest hit they could do?
Elbows.
Is a kick,
elbow,
or elbows.
It's a little elbow.
It's a little elbow. Are they gonna throw a little elbow?
They're not gonna know how to throw it properly either. They don't have any training at fucking in 3rd grade.
Well, yeah. Matt's initial estimate was he can take on 1,000 to 2,000 of them. If he can find a little bit of high ground and thin out the numbers, he can take them on indefinitely. I told him that perhaps if he had, I don't know, I mean, even if you had brass knuckles, eventually you're going to get tired. That's why I say there has to be an end to it. There has to be an end somewhere.
When I die from...
I think I can go forever.
Yeah.
Because if the worst thing they can do is... I think the worst injury they can do would be jumping and then landing on me with their elbow. And if it's an 8-year-old, I could take that for a year.
Yeah, they're weak.
Like it would never be like, oh, I broke my ribs. Oh, you hit the same spot again. Oh, now now I'm bleeding. Oh, now you're doing kidney damage. It would never get past breaking the ribs. So it would, I could handle their worst blow. I guess it depends on there's probably some 8th graders that could bring it. There's like a, girl, not going to be that scary, but maybe like a
8th graders, that's a different story.
Or 3rd grader, I'm sorry. But like an 8-year-old that's maybe a little more mature, like whatever the strongest one is, even if he's doing his most impactful blow he could even physically come up with, I could take that, I think, forever.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of just protecting myself.
It's protection, and he can go forever. Fleccas,
unlimited.
Thank you for making some of my Christmas wishes come true. It's great to get caught up with you. And I just want to leave you a little bit of time to tell everybody how they can follow you, because, of course, there is a lot more to look forward to you coming out on consistent scheduled basis now that you're not just analyzing the protest schedules and planning all your content that way. Let everybody know how they can listen to you or watch you, and yeah, go ahead.
Yep. Fleccas on all platforms, Fleccas. And then we have a show Tuesdays and Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. And then we also have FleccasTalks.com, where we have bonus episodes Tuesdays and Fridays as well. And thank you for having me on, Frank. Sorry it's been so long since I've been here. I'm going to come on again. I'm down to do more of these because I haven't done a news hit in like 2 years. But now that we're doing it and back into it, I kind of like it.
Well, dude,
I usually don't love it. I don't love it. But now after doing this, I remember what I like about it again. And I'm like reborn and down to do more news hits like this. And thank you for having me on. And you run, hey, just everyone knows this, but you run a very good operation, and you have consistently for such a long time. And when the world keeps waking up and the more people see the stuff that's happening right in front of their face and they go, wait, what's really going on? They're going to look for people who have it figured out already. And you are one of those people. So very happy to be here. And also you run a very, very good professional operation here with all your platforms and the streaming and the website. So congratulations on what you've built,
dude. Thank you, and I always will consider you part of all that, because my show really is nothing unless you consider the personalities, the family, the friends, all that stuff. And you know, Fleccas Fridays was a cherished tradition, and I don't care when the hell you come on. First of all, I'd love to have you on whenever. Whenever you find a show that you like going and hanging out, that's really the secret sauce there. But I would love to have you on, and also Rap Boy. I'd love to have you both one night. So maybe we can figure that out.
We can make that happen. And then also with like how it played out, like Fleccas Friday was such a great trend going into 2020 election, and then we lost, and I just kind of got like,
oh, I know, I
got bummed out. I didn't want to go play again. Like we lost the game, and then it's like, oh, practice on Monday, and I was kind of like, no, I'm not practicing for a little bit. So that's kind of where I went and why I left, and I had to go build my own thing. But now that we're kind of coming back into the election season and we have hope again and there's something to look forward to, we're optimistic. I'd love to come on more often. Well,
listen, no pressure whatsoever. Just always know you have friends over here up north, and we're big fans, and talk to you soon. And please send my best to your lovely mother.
Yes, I told her I was going on today, and she was so happy to hear that.
Good. I'm glad that we're at least still good enough for Fleccas's mom.
Oh no, you definitely are. She loves you guys. All right. She loves you, Frank, and I do too. Matt, good talking to you. I will see you guys next time.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year if we don't speak.
All right.
Merry
Christmas.
Take care.
Merry Christmas.
There he goes, Fleccas.